we should be live. Let's promote the live stream, unlike last week when I totally forgot to do it. Oh. Funny story. Yeah. Whatever, Discord. Okay, let's
It's like the fucking most useless...
Vampyr is having a day, dear listeners.
I broke my chair.
Yep.
I've lost a bunch of shit over the past week.
Like random stuff where you could be potentially convinced that maybe you had a gnome. They're just taking things they thought you liked.
Yeah. And I did find like 6 individual socks in this room alone, which is not my kind of thing. Generally speaking, I am the... It comes off my body, it goes in my laundry basket until laundry is done.
Right.
That's the deal.
Right.
But no, I've got to find 6 individual socks in here, which makes me think the cats have been playing around. Oh,
yeah. Doing the carrying socks and howling thing.
Yep. It also wouldn't surprise me if, because Louise seems to be the one who's more interested in wires, if she's the one responsible for my missing Bluetooth headset.
Ah, right.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Okay, Sissy, how do I search in this mess?
Okay, let's open up...
I don't want to have to open up Chrome. A competitor to you. To figure out how to use you.
That's a fair point, I think. Okay.
Like, no joke. This should just be a nice and simple search option on every site ever.
What are you searching for?
Us.
Oh. Right.
That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
More. Search. No, nobody I'm following is currently on. My wife used the best photo of Louise ever for her image on one of these things. Teams, more. Okay, games. No, don't search games. Don't search teams. More. There. Is that how I do it? Fuck, yes, that's how I did it.
Ta-da!
Caller, please turn down your radio. Click that button there. That button there.
I'm watching Vampyr compute.
Yes, it's kind of creepy. What font is that pre-showing, dude? And come on, surely you could have made it a color other than white.
Hey man, I had literally 2 minutes. Also, the same font and color that XSplit uses.
So the default.
Yeah. Calibri, which is shorthand for I gotta do something else next week.
It's pretty accurate, to be honest.
It's one of those things that, like, even if I could put an outline or like a shadow under it, that would work, but that'd probably take me 15 minutes.
Oh, dude, I persuaded the owner of the company I work for to use Calibri because I couldn't be fucked putting together literally a list of 20 different fonts for him to go through and then change his mind on every 4 seconds. So I was like, dude, just use this one. It's on everything. You never need to worry about anything. It's
supported. It looks clean. Everyone can read it. You're good.
It will fucking do. Nobody, we are not a tech company. No one is analyzing our stuff that bad.
Yeah, we're not putting out a press release where someone wonders, ooh, did you create a new font? Nope, it's Calibri.
Yep.
Oh man. Alright, you ready to kick this thing off? A peek behind the curtain, Vampyr and I had now that I'm looking at the time, a longer than expected pre-show meeting, so... working on future programming for this very feed and channel.
Yes, I am ready, I guess. Okay. I don't know why this isn't working or updating,
but screw it. I think you've given it the old college try. I don't think anyone's gonna blame you if you tap out.
Dude, this is so fucking dumb. No, close window. Okay, you're clearly not open anywhere else.
Do
Okay,
you have
last
your air
try.
conditioner on?
Shit, yes I do.
Okay. I was like, hey, there's some real white noise behind you.
Thank you for the reminder to turn that thing off.
Hello, Lobotomisaur Tater?
Who's that Pokemon?
Yeah, yes, that's my favorite. Lobotomisator. Thank you guys for a great podcast. Never follow them live, but always enjoy them later per the RSS feed. Thank you very much for joining us live for your very first live stream. Hopefully we don't let you down.
Finally got it to fucking work.
Yes.
Now I can hang out with the rest of the cretins in Mixer.
Oh. Yeah, that's right. I gotta bring up Mixer. You're right.
There's
Actual
reason.
hell.
There you go.
Alright, you ready?
Yep.
Alright, let's get started here in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
Quick piece of programming news. We recorded the latest Game Club recap episode yesterday for Ori and the Blind Forest, and we unveiled our next game chosen by you, the patrons, and that is 2064 Read-Only Memories, which, as Moonpier said, thankfully is not a pixel platformer or a Metrovania, so
Yep.
sweet freedom.
Yes, sweet freedom indeed.
Yeah, so that came out on basically anything you own, including the Ouya. So
Yeah. Time to crack it out, I guess. Like I own an Ouya. I wasn't even
yeah.
in this country when that thing existed.
Yeah, I bet you could. I wonder if you could
No,
still buy one for cheap.
No. You probably could, but knowing eBay prices, they probably put them up to $700 because it's a limited edition thing now.
Ooh, yeah, eBay.com. $30
No, that's not too bad. I ain't buying.
for the Kickstarter, the limited edition Kickstarter backer edition with a second controller is $30. So I bet the
And to get that
service doesn't
reward,
work.
wasn't it like 200 or something for the
Yeah,
for
it was-
that specific
It was
payout?
a lot. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Thanks. Anywho, so our next game is the Ouya available 2064 Read-Only Memories. You have a month to join us playing it, and hopefully you will join us because that game seems pretty cool. I'm excited to check it out.
It looks, as my wife phrased it, she is out because it looks like a Game Boy game.
Sure, okay.
I don't think my wife played many Game Boy games because it doesn't look like a Game Boy game.
No, it doesn't even... Yeah. I get where she's coming from because I feel like you either really enjoy pixel art stuff or is...
The retro looking stuff, or you don't.
Yeah, or it's like this ancient... You know, you pull out the stone tablet and you... Like, you get the dust off of it. It's like, 2064 read-only memories. I haven't played this in 30 years. It's sort of like, there's no real in-between, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, with all that out of the way, what have you been playing this past week?
Let's start with Ori the Blind Forest.
Oh,
Again,
yes.
promo. Go listen to that episode. We have some very good things to say about that game.
Yes.
Hashtag spoilers.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Spider-Man this week. I backed off from playing it a little bit because I despite my inclination, I have been looking at the different options available for dongles for the Xbox One controller to be able to be used on the PlayStation 4.
Right. For comfort and RSI reasons.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And thinking about it more, I was thinking about this while I was in the process of trying to order one. I realized that the reason it probably affects me so much now is because all I did between like the teenage years to like OG Xbox release was play PlayStation. Which might be possibly one of those things where, you don't play tennis for 6 years and then you go back and all of a sudden the elbow thing comes back.
Yeah, your arm falls off.
It might be something along those lines. But I went out, I picked up a dongle. It arrived today. Something I didn't mention to you earlier was it arrived about 20 minutes before I came upstairs to do the show.
That's usually how it works, yeah.
Yep. So I plugged it in. I did give it a quick test, and it is currently being put through its paces. Not by me, but I'm not allowed to mention to anybody that somebody is playing the PlayStation, so wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Whoever could it be?
Yes, it's Louise, my cat.
Exactly.
She is swinging through the city as we speak.
Right.
But yeah, I played a little bit of Spider-Man, and that game just feels so good. Like, they nailed the most important thing in a Spider-Man game for me, and that is the swinging, the sensation of motion. At this point, I don't even care that there isn't even a counter button in the game.
Yeah.
I don't mind. And I unlocked my favorite suit, which is the Stark suit from the Homecoming movie.
Oh yeah.
So I'm all in. That is my suit from this point on, because I hate the dumb suits. They're really cool that they're in there, like the genuinely cool touches, and that all these weird outfits are in there. But I don't want to play as negative Spider-Man who's got like a weirdly bright white costume with weirdly colored trim and stuff. It's like, no,
weird.
I'll just use the outfit from Homecoming. That's the quintessential Spider-Man suit.
I thought I heard you can mix and match benefits from suits on other ones.
Yes, what happens is each suit has an individual ability. The classic suit, I believe, has I can't remember what it's called. It's there's a really good word for it, but it's where he jumps up, spins around, and just fires webs in every single direction. I wish I could remember what it's called, because it's always got a great word for it. I can't use the more adult-themed one, but that's what it does. The suit you start with has battle focus, where it regains your focus meter, which allows you to do finishes faster. Like the Tony Stark one, I believe. Not the Homecoming suit, but one of the other Stark suits, it looks like. That has holographic versions of Spider-Man that come out.
Oh, cool.
There is the Infinity War Spider-Man suit, which has got the 8 legs.
Oh, yeah.
So you can equip every single suit ability on every other suit. So depending on your type of playstyle, you can just unlock that suit, play with that specific special ability, and then you're all good.
That's nice.
It's a really cool feature, because it allows you want to buy all the suits that way. You want to experience that kind of thing, play with them for 10 minutes, and then be like, no, I don't like the way this suit looks.
Yeah.
It's the loading screens for me is always the most important thing. The suit they designed for the game, the white spider with the trim, like the white trim, I love almost every single aspect about it, except for the fact that he's got little white spider booties.
Oh really?
And I don't like his white spider booties. Like, there's a little trim on the side of the ankle, and that's fine. But it's the fact that it looks like he's wearing spider sneakers is just
right.
I think I'll use the Stark suit, thanks. So
yeah.
Plus I love that movie anyway, so that's fine by me.
Yeah.
But now get ready, folks, because Horizon Zero Dawn awaits.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Until Dawn awaits.
Yep.
The Uncharted Collection awaits. Finishing off God of War awaits. Donut County awaits.
Yeah, Donut County.
There's like 5 or 6 other games I now own on the PlayStation, which now are all awaiting me playing them. So, oh no, there's so much to play.
And now you can play them in longer than an hour at a time.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. Spider-Man Ori, Dead by Daylight, game number 3. That game is still fun. Please play it with us. They amended things like with the rep thing, so now I'm achievement hunting like a mofo. So I need to jump back in and get all of those achievements for each individual character, which they actually made a lot easier with the updates. So I'm fine with that, but I want to jump in and play some more, because Dead by Daylight is terrifying. Boston, please buy it, please play it. Come on.
Oh no, I'm so much of a chicken.
Come on, you've got Game Pass. You're going to be playing the Xbox soon.
I do, yeah.
It's like 10 minutes a match, if that.
That 10 minutes is appealing.
And then
that's
if
a good
you die,
amount of time.
you can just spectate, so
There
that's
you go.
fine. But yeah, Dead by Daylight is still fun. 2 more games to talk about. I'm going really quick this week because I literally put a lot of time into a few games.
Okay.
Yoku's Island Express.
Oh yeah.
The pinball Metroidvania game.
I gotta get back to this.
I realized that it was I'm trying to clean up space on my hard drive, and I started going from the top down, and I thought, why not go from the bottom up? So I went and checked, and Yoku's Island Express is right there at the bottom of my list, waiting to be played again. So I thought, I know, I'll play that. You know, I'm tired of long weeks. The temperature here can't seem to make up its mind. I'm exhausted. Let's just play something nice, calm, and relaxing.
And very cute.
And then over the past 3 days, I beat the game, got every single collectible and every single achievement. Wow. So yes, Yoku's Island Express may have like stolen my week away from me.
I definitely have to get back to this now.
That game is so good. And did you ever get to the point where you got the sprinkles? No,
I think I played maybe like half an hour. So I think it was like the very first opening story stuff, and maybe like the first 2 or 3 little pinball sections. But that was it was enough for me to be like, yeah, I need to play more of this. And
yes,
put my Switch down.
100% you do.
Yeah.
Because this game just sneaked itself onto my top 10 list this year, I think.
Wow.
Because in a tumultuous time as a personal person, as a society at large, as people who enjoy geek culture in general, like the world is falling apart, it feels like, and this is a green skies, feel-good game it's so perfect. It's got that chilled out music. It's a very small game. It's relatively easy to play and complete in a short amount of time. Like the secrets in the game are so shocking. The reason I asked about the sprinkles is because that was the thing which I thought was so cool about it, is as you get chests, you get these orbs which you deliver to one person and he puts them on these little dispensers.
Oh yeah.
And you can change the color of your pinball based on what sprinkle you put onto your actual pinball.
Nice.
And they're all called like deadly sprinkles, bling sprinkles, I think it's crimson sprinkles, but like for example, if you mix the deadly sprinkles and the loot sprinkles, or the gold one essentially, it turns your ball into like a jeweled spider ball.
Oh,
it's
cool.
So cool. It's like so dumb, but then you have to use them to solve puzzles in the game. You have to go and change your outfit to go into different areas. It's so stupid and so fun.
That's pretty cool. I agree with you. Like this game seems very sweet. You know, it seems very genuinely nice. Like it's what I've been hearing a lot of people talking about with Spider-Man, where it's like, Spider-Man, you're just a character trying to do good, and Yoku's Island Express, you're just trying to deliver some packages, make the world a little bit better.
Yep, and to be honest, it's kind of a game I have needed recently. There is not enough of the blue sky feel good kind of games.
Yeah.
Like now is a really good time for them to just drop a new Viva Pinata on us.
Yeah. It's always the right time.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Give me a Viva Pinata any day of the year, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
But sort of unfortunately, Rare is doing a really great job supporting Sea of Thieves. So, you know, fortunately for the Sea of Thieves fans, unfortunately for Viva Pinata fans.
They've got to get back to it at some point, right?
I would like to think so, yeah. They were pretty quiet. I feel like they put those 2 games out on 360 and then kind of went radio silent for the rest of the platform's life cycle. And Sea of Thieves is really the only other thing they've done. Yeah,
well, the Rare collection as well, but that wasn't exactly...
Yeah.
That's not a new game, per se.
Well, and they made Nuts and Bolts, too, I guess. But was that before, after? I don't know. It came
Nuts and Bolts was after, after Viva Pinata, but... Come on, you've got the most powerful console on the planet. You admit it yourself, and you don't have a 4K HDR Viva Pinata to play on it.
It would look
There
so
is something missing from this equation.
Yep. I want to see the paper mache flap in the wind.
Oh, dude, imagine what they could do with 4K HD. Oh.
The thing that I would be really excited about is just the size of your garden.
Yeah, now it's a planet.
Oh God. Don't even tease me.
Viva Planet.
I just blacked out for a second.
Like,
no, that's too good.
Oh, come on. We are available for hire, folks.
Yeah, I am free.
Yeah, don't ask us to do budgets for Viva Planet, but give us Viva Planet.
How much more? Can you just give me a blank check? How many? Talk to me about number of zeros.
My final game this week, I did play though. Like, I mean, go play Yoku's Island Express, folks. It's a pinball Metroidvania. Like,
it's cheap.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it because there's some moments in that game which you should discover by yourself. Yeah. And when you start unlocking the exploration abilities, it's really, really dumb and really cute.
Oh, nice.
But it was a game that I needed at a time that I needed it. So I think that's why it's again subjective objective thing. It's probably going to be on my top 10 list just because of the time I played it. Worked out really, really well in its favor. So that's great. And unfortunately, my final game this week, which I can't really talk about because of spoilers, but hopefully this week there is a transition game.
It can be.
Then my final game this week and the transition game to Mr. Boston. Let me throw you the ball that's full of blood and all of the rest of the gooey stuff.
And I will go.
Yep.
Yeah, Vampyr. I played. God, Vampyr. So
that sums up perfectly that game, I think.
God, it's immediately so bad, and I love it so much. Like it. I think you nailed it on the head by saying it's 2018's Alpha Protocol. It immediately controls so poorly. Like, just moving your character is frustrating, but the way they start the game with some, like, artsy intro and some shadowy voice talking about being a vampire and some countdown of something. And then you wake up and you climb out of this pile of bodies.
Yeah, mass grave.
Yeah, and it's the whole game is black and white until you spot this heartbeat and circulatory system off in the distance, and I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And then you bite down and you drain your sister, which is really, really pretty horrific.
Yep.
I do have to say two things for parents, positive and negative. Positive, you can pause at any time, including cutscenes.
Yep.
Negative, it's really sweary.
Oh, is it really that bad?
It's really sweary. Like, I was playing it, and my kid was there, and it's like the third person you run into, like, jumps out of an alley and goes, "You effing leech!" And I was like, "No, God!"
Okay. Yeah, I'm an idiot because I was thinking about the conversations with NPCs. I wasn't thinking about the combat. Yeah, the combat is very sweary.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you're sort of not paying attention to it 100% because, like, you're trying to navigate the pretty bad combat system. My one desire, I want them to make a second Vampyr.
Yeah.
I want them to make it into a grid-based, turn-based SRPG.
Well, you want them to make everything into that. If they made Halo into an SRPG, you would be the biggest Halo fan ever.
No, I'm okay. But I think this game would be so much better if you could take these skills and you can take the options that you have available to you, even early on in the game, and be able to plan for and use some of that stuff at a bit of a slower pace. Because I really like the idea. You know, the first weapons you get are like a dagger and a stake. And you can stab somebody a couple of times with a stake, and their
stamina meter.
Yeah, their stamina bar goes down, then you can latch right onto them, get blood, and use blood skills. And, like, the first blood skill I opened was throwing blood spears at them, which is super cool and does a ton of damage. But I keep forgetting that this dude with a shotgun, I can, like, juke and jive around him to get to him, to latch onto him. Like, there's... Early on in the game, it feels like you're more well rewarded by just getting up and giving him the stabby Jones and then just kind of running away rather than using your skills. So, but on the other side, where I knew, the very second I knew that Vampyr got me was, you're going to the pub at the very beginning of the game.
Yes, during the very long tutorial section of this game.
Yes, which most of it has been fine. The teleport move is super cool. I really like the smoky teleport. You're wandering around and I see a trash can that's glowing. So it's like, oh, there's gonna be some shillings in there or something. Open it up and there's a note in there, just like a regular lore note, and it's some woman writing about her feelings towards this other guy.
I knew this would be the thing. I knew that this would be the thing that got you.
So I read it, and I was like, all right, as a lot of the other stuff, a lot of the writing in the game, except for the loading screens, the rest of the writing is very solid in the game. So I close that menu, and it says, new relationship discovered, press the touchpad. So I push the touchpad. That's the second that I saw a woman's like character profile came up. Had 3 facts you could know about her, filled in one of them, and it said, like, Berta is hiding her true feelings for her boss, Tom. And I was just like, oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, no, it got me. Like, that very moment, I was like, go, Vampyr's game for me. Oh, no.
Yep. And the best thing is depending on the path you want to walk, that red meter that fills up across their profile screen, essentially, that is the quality of their blood.
The delicious XP bar.
And if you get all the true story, the vampire true story about each individual person, then you get more XP should you decide to nom down on some fools.
Yeah, looking at that bar, I was like, oh, they have an XP bar. And the game's like, hey man, the more you know about them, kind of the tastier they are. I was like, oh, I don't want to really eat anybody, but that's so much XP right now.
Yeah, because you look at it at the start and you're like, okay, so every fight you're getting 15, 20 XP, you know, you're struggling, you're trying to unlock as many powers and figure out which way you want to play, and then you interact with somebody, you figure out their 3 hints, and it's like 3,000 XP.
Yeah, like
right here.
I already know something about Berta, so it's like 5,500 XP, and I was like, that would buy me so many okay, I can't bite her. I can't do it. She seems like a nice lady. I can't bite her. So you go through this whole thing. I really liked that dude you meet at the top of the... And for anyone that's worried, I've played about an hour, so these are very much intro story beats.
Yeah. Have you reached the hospital yet?
Yes, that's where I ended.
Okay, because that's literally the end of the tutorial.
Okay, perfect. I really liked when you went to the second floor to talk to that dude, and he had the cross out.
That effect is one of my favorite effects in video games. That effect
is so cool. Like, they somehow managed to, even though it's not going to hurt you to look at it, there's something about how overwhelming it is as it's being pointed at you.
Yeah, like you see he points the cross, and it's like you see it light up, and then it basically becomes like this beam of light, like a big laser encompassing your view as you look at this cross longer. It's just so the light effects, just the way they did that effect by itself is so cool.
Yeah, and so you go through all this stuff, you do a couple of fights, you do some exploration stuff, you're like finding out who killed the bar owner's friend, and then you get to the hospital and you meet you've already met your boss, who's like, hey man, I can offer you a job, and it's the night shift.
Wink wink, nudge nudge.
Yeah. And of course you're like a world famous blood specialist, like a blood pathologist or something. So you get to the hospital and you meet kind of like a really jerky nurse, but like everyone's overworked, and I go up this I forgot about this. I go to the side, and there's a dude, 2 people fighting, and there's a guy that like pushes someone else into the river, like stabs him, pushes him in the river, and the game's like, get him to go over here. And it's like, okay, and you like hypnotize him, I think is the word.
Why did I forget this terminology?
It's like a specific.
Mesmer. It's basically a mesmer.
You mesmerize them. Yeah. It has a really great icon where it's like the head silhouette with the little
swirly
logo in it, you know, like the. And it's like, hey, you should mesmerize this guy and take him over here. It's like, okay,
take him to the shadows. Take him over here.
And
nobody can see you.
Okay, I'll follow this tutorial. And it's like, do you want to feed? And I was like, sure, I will. And like, after I chomp down on him, the game's like, you didn't have to do that. Why'd you do that? And he's like, why? Why would you kill me? It's like, wait, what? No, okay. Like, I killed that dude.
And the best thing is, now you have to live with your actions.
Yeah, and I feel like the game has done a good job where it's sort of like, look, you can later on, you can totally eat this really nice nurse who's trying to help you, and she has like 15,000 XP. Or that dude that just killed someone else and is totally drunk. It's like,
Yep.
okay, I see how you're doing this, Vampyr. So yeah, I got to the outside of the hospital, and they told me where my room is, and you meet like 3 or 4 people. I had one of those heart-stopping moments in games like this where they're dialogue-driven, where I talked to the one older nurse, and she's like, look, can you talk to this doctor? Like, he's working himself to death. It's really dangerous.
Yeah, she's got glasses. She's very much the oldest nurse on the staff.
Yeah. So I go talk to him, and it's really nice because now that I know now that I know something about him, it shows up in blue in the dialogue choices. So I picked that one. I was like, hey man, this nurse is concerned about you. Like, or something like, you look like you're dead on your feet, you've been working a lot. And he says, oh, well, who told you that? And you say, I said, well, it's this other nurse. And he goes, oh, don't worry, I'll go have a talk with her. And I was like, oh no, I screwed up. My character goes, hey man, don't take it out on her, just because I told you this, like, she's concerned about you. And he said, oh, well, on the contrary, she's the only person that I would trust. I'll see you later. And I was like, oh, thank God. I don't want to like screw up my very first like real dialogue choice. So I thought that was good. Vampyr seems really good.
Yeah, and just so you know as well, if you're ever in Vampire Vision looking around the hospital when it goes all black and white and you see everyone's heartbeats, have fun, look at your own silhouette. It's solid black.
Oh, weird.
Which is really cool because you don't have a heartbeat because you're a vampire. It's an amazing little touch. But if you ever see like red smoke or like a little eye symbol above like a character, that means they are either having a conversation or going to an area to have a conversation that you should be interested in. So find a little peepee tom spot so you can see what they're saying, and that is one of the things that will give you more hints about the people and allow you to delve
fill
more.
all that stuff out.
And just some more advice for you. Hints from one person can lead to hints for another person, which can lead to hints for another person.
Oh no, that's dangerous.
You can fail hints by saying the wrong thing to somebody, and then that cuts you off from hints for someone else or for him.
Wow.
It's insane.
It almost feels like one of those games that you want to play through just naturally the first time, and then you want to find like one of those 100% guides afterwards where it's like,
that's what I'm doing.
So yeah, say this thing to this person, follow this person in X room, and then say this thing. Yeah, Vampyr is one of those B games that we often don't get in gaming. Like, there's always B movies which are like good and bad at the same time. Vampyr is so much, and this is no slight against Don't Nod, it's a very good bad game. Combat is not great. It doesn't look super fantastic. It runs fairly smoothly.
It looks incredible on the X.
I'm thinking more like there's not a lot of great texture work, at least in the intro area where it's like the slums. The slums are not the most impressive area. The docks, that kind of area, I didn't like the docks. I like the other places you go, but I'm also a fan of like the Gothic architecture and the Gothic style. Yeah.
You know, I like my Burton. What can I say?
Well, it starts off understandably, it starts off in sort of like the brown and black and gray docks area. So, I mean, it sort of has to, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those rare games. It's very much like Alpha Protocol. Alpha Protocol is a very good bad game. You know, Alpha Protocol has problems with control and shooting. You know, it's like two of the core things that game needs to do. But everything else around it is great. And I feel the same way about Vampyr, where voice acting is pretty good and it's written surprisingly very well so far. But it isn't the best looking game, and a lot of the combat early on just feels it's off. At first it feels terrible, like you will get used to it, which I'm not saying that's a positive for the game, is getting used to bad combat. It's not something you should have to do, but when you figure out what skills you like and stuff like that, that's when the combat becomes so much easier. My recommendation is unlock ultimates as soon as you have the experience points to unlock one, because they recharge on a timer. Usually it's 99 seconds. Nice.
So if you use one like at the very start of a fight, and then you have 3 people there, by the time you're to the last person, you can hit them with the ultimate, and then usually they're very, very lethal.
Okay. I'll work on that then. Yeah. Yeah, so far it seems good. I don't really have a lot of complaints about it other than, you know, the stuff that you prepared me for, which is sort of...
The combat is iffy.
Yeah, it's a good, bad game.
Yep.
I did download the Forza Horizon 4 demo.
Yep, I have been told by basically everyone who exists on the planet that this thing looks incredible and plays great.
Yeah. So, I was in a bad mood trying to download Forza Horizon 4. I will save my story here, but it was very much like Microsoft being a little too helpful and the Xbox store being overwhelmed by people trying to download the demo. I just had a bad time. You know, sometimes you just go to download something as soon as it comes out and it's just not working for you.
Yeah, please see me talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly, where it's like, it's going to take how many hours? I could just go buy a disc. Oh, man.
I had the disc, dude. That's the stupid thing.
Yeah, that's even worse, yeah. I seem to be the only one that is having massive performance issues with Forza Horizon 4's demo.
Oh, wow.
I am getting points where probably every 2 or 3 minutes the game just freezes for about 3 to 5 seconds.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, and I know some people are going to be like, well, what Xbox do you have? And I have a launch Xbox, and don't tell me to go buy an X, because that's not the solution. I also, you know, the hard drive is only half full. You know, all this stuff seems to be in order. I'm sort of suspecting it's either my Xbox was having a bad day, or it's maybe an E3 demo build. So it's like a really early build. I'm not going to judge it on performance for right now. I'm going to get it as Game Pass anyway, so, you know, I'm not. The
game is free.
Yeah, I'm not going to really worry about it. I really like the presentation. There's 2 things I really like about Forza Horizon 4. One of them is they've revamped the race results screen, because before it was always like, you know, Forza Horizon 3, it like zooms in on your wheel and it fills up 2 bars, and it's fine. What they have now is you basically race your car in this giant room that has a monstrously huge TV in the background, and that's showing all of your race results and like all of the growth that your character and your racer has been doing over time.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I like that they have stepped up the presentation instead of like, hey, we just did Forza Horizon 3 and we put it in Europe. Yay! Hooray!
Yep. Fine by me.
If they would have done that would have been fine.
There is not enough games based in England.
Yeah.
Like, I can probably name 5. Yeah. If that.
The other thing I really like is, and I've only done a handful of races. I haven't unlocked Autumn, because how they do it, I know how they do it on the full releases. Every week is a different season. How they do it in the demo is like, you do a handful of races, you get enough followers, it changes the season, and then so on and so forth. So you sort of get to see, all of them in the intro race, you know, the now famous Forza Horizon switching cars intro race.
Yep.
Also, I want to say that Playground Games can go to hell, because the headline for the snow one was A Song of Ice and Tires, and that sucks.
Oh, that's really, really good!
I hate it.
That's really great.
Yeah, so I don't know how everyone lies on that side of the fence, but
that's incredible, dude. That's the best.
The thing I did really like, though, is it seems like, and I'm hoping this isn't the final game, because you finish like your first 2 races, and they haven't really let you loose in the open world yet. It's very much like race 1, race 2. Now you're going to be able to explore a little bit. The 3rd race, they say, is, hey, someone's doing a film shoot. You look just like the lead actress. Like, just go on over there and see how you can help. They give you what looks like a story chain of missions, to
Okay.
go do stunt jumps for this movie. And what was cool is, the first one is you have to jump through this thing. I won't spoil it for anyone because it's kind of a cool moment. But they put you in the super-powered car. You basically do 2 turns, and then there's the stunt jump. You go through, and as long as you make the distance, they go, hey, all right, yeah, we got the shot for the movie. And you get a little bit of story afterwards. And it's like, that's kind of cool, because I wonder how many people maybe have missed some of those jumps in something like Forza Horizon 3, because they weren't really, except for maybe like the first 2, they didn't really push you into exploring that stuff.
No, they didn't. That was always about completionist and oh, you're missing a couple of stars to your next event. Here's a stunt jump. Here's a drift zone.
Right. Yeah, and of course the demo even has, you've driven over 15 of the 100 or like 357 roads, and it's like, oh no, I need to do it.
It's one of those.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to play the demo anymore, because I think it comes out in like 3 weeks.
Yes, it does. I am not touching this demo. People have been asking me what I think of it, and my response is I don't think anything, because I'm in day 1. So
yeah, and I feel like for you and I, it's a we know it's going to be good, so there's no real reason to bother playing it. And as far as I can tell, there's nothing that's special that unlocks it from playing the demo, or that nothing carries over. So I don't really think. But if you haven't played a Forza Horizon game before, download the demo. Like it looks incredible. For me, it has some hitches, but when it's running smooth, it's running really, really well. And it just, even on 1080p, it looks outstanding. So I can't imagine how good it's going to look on 4K. That's just, it's too good.
Yes.
And last but not least, I said last week I wasn't going to talk about Destiny 2 because I didn't think any new stuff was going to happen, and then Bungie proved me completely wrong. So last week I was working on the quest to unlock the Dreaming City, the second exploration zone. Man, did they outdo themselves with the Dreaming City. It is, I feel like one of the biggest negatives for Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 is you're always exploring these totally burnt out, these husk environments that have been decaying since the fall of the Golden Age. So it's all like exposed girders and stuff.
It's the Gears of War brown and black thing, except they actually have a lot of color in Destiny. But it's the same basic thing. Yeah,
but like everywhere you're exploring has fallen apart. The Dreaming City is still untouched, and it's beautiful. It's these rolling green hills. It's these amazing giant towers with rounded edges and gold filigree. Like everything is intact, and everything is way bigger than you are. Like we were talking about last week, that's some of the stuff that Destiny does really well. The thing, for anyone that hasn't seen Dreaming City, the thing I can sort of liken it to the most is sort of the elven architecture from the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yes.
It's like that twisted wood and the very like ornate stonework, and I think it's beautiful looking, and it's nice to see like green fields and trees that aren't dead. But it's also such a breath of fresh air to get something that's intact in that universe. It's not cobbled together from scraps. I think that's really cool, and it's massively huge. And well, we'll talk about more of it in a second here. The raid launched. The Last Wish launched on Tuesday, and or Friday. Sorry. When Vault of Glass came out in Destiny 1, it held the crown for longest raid, and that was the longest first clear. That was 14 hours and like 38 minutes or something. The first clear of Last Wish was 19 hours and change.
Oh, wow.
It is the largest problem. So for people that are listening that maybe don't know how raiding and a lot of this stuff works, within like 2 or 3 weeks, you'll be able to bang that thing out in 2 hours. Like, you'll have the strats, you'll have the gear. The biggest problem is, it's been, I don't want to say it's been hard to gear up in Destiny 2. It's going to be a longer road than it has before. Yeah. It's not like you worked really hard for 2 weeks and now you're light level and there's nothing left to do. So a lot of people were going in like the 530s. The raid started at 550. The raid ended at 585.
Okay, so don't do that.
Yeah, like you'll now know if you're ready or not. I just got up to like 515, so I'm obviously nowhere near it. The raid looks incredible. I won't spoil anything because I know there are some people. There are a lot of people that want to go into it blind. I think all of it looks really great. I think every single boss encounter and every single non-boss encounter looks really, really great. And they did every raid that comes out. They managed to bend Destiny's engine just a little bit more to be like, oh, I didn't expect I'd have to do this sort of puzzle, or like, I can't believe they could fit this much stuff into one room with a boss and like all this other stuff. And it's just,
yeah, the Vault of Glass stuff, like I think it was the Vault of Glass, the shields and jumping through the portals and that kind of stuff is just like, I don't know how you did this. It's really cool that you did it that way.
Yep.
But I don't understand how you did it with a game which is, it's the same issues that you had with the first one and all that stuff. But good on you for making the raids at least the standout, like, moments of the year kind of possibles.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff, like there's one boss that is a DPS race. Like you start the boss, it's very much like the Crota raid, where you start a boss, there's a set time limit. When you don't meet that time limit, you die. But they do such a better job now of communicating, here's what this thing is, here's how much time you have left. If the encounter is going to change, you'll see something in the lower left-hand corner. Like, all of it is so much clearer, and I think that really helps it. The other side of the coin is, now that the raid has been completed, Destiny 2 is changing. Canonically, now the last boss of the raid has been defeated, which in the lore is exactly what they wanted. So as a side effect, there's a new Gambit map, there's a new strike that unlocked, there's a whole set of new quests in the Dreaming City, and the Dreaming City is now changing. And over the next couple weeks, it apparently will change in fairly substantive ways. It already looks like it's different in some pretty interesting ways. And all of that happened as soon as that very first team beat that raid.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really neat because the themes of Forsaken have been, you can't just go do what you want to do and have everybody come out smelling like roses. Like, based on the Forsaken campaign, bad stuff is gonna happen. Like, your actions have side effects.
Yeah, it's living with the consequences of the things that you need to admit that are your fault.
Right, and even, like, you know, the Forsaken stuff, you did the right thing for the right reasons, but not everyone's gonna see it that way. And now with the raid, like, you've done what has been asked of you, but man, was that really the wrong thing to do. And
interesting.
And as a result, the Dreaming City things are going to go really badly for it, and the lore and story implications going forward are going to be really bad, because you messed up really, really badly by defeating this thing. And I think that's awesome, because before it was like, you beat the raid, you killed a god, 2 thumbs up, good job.
Yep.
That's it, we're done. Like, that's the DLC. And for them to have that stuff affect all the player base and affect the world, I think
very, very smart game design.
Yeah, I think it's
very
really
smart story design as well.
But yeah, sort of both, because I think that's what you needed to do to get the the raid isn't the pinnacle anymore. It's just like the next. It's like you turning the key and opening the door. It's just sort of you're busting down one more barrier of content, and I think that's really great, because even for people that were doing the raid and they're playing really hardcore to level up and stuff, now there's even more content that unlocked based on that. So even for them, for me, it's just even more content on top of this tasty content cake that I have. But for them, it's, okay, I did this thing, and now everyone has all this additional content. I think that's really, really smart, because they did that with the last raid, but it was just a PvP map.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, did they have anybody specifically in the game, like story-wise, saying, don't do the raid, don't do this, this is a bad idea?
No, which is really interesting, because the people that had you go do the raid are now really upset.
Okay.
They're very much like, I had you go do the right thing, and that was actually the last thing we should have done. This is... Cool. We have to clean up from this. And I don't want to say why we had to go do it, because that's a spoiler for some of the ending stuff of the Forsaken story campaign. But the fact that it carried directly from the consequences of that, and now is leading into much, much larger consequences. And it's looks like it's wrapping up some of the lore stuff that's been building for probably, I guess, since the end of Destiny 1. And maybe since the end of Taken King, is really very exciting. So, 2 thumbs up for Destiny 2. I wasn't expecting to talk more about it, other than Musum and I have been playing a whole ton of Gambit, and that's still really fun.
Too much of it, from what I hear.
Yeah, God, Gambit's really good. But really nice to see them not resting on their laurels and continuing to extend Destiny in really great ways. So. And there's still tons of stuff we haven't found, like tons of stuff in the database, weapons and armor and all sorts of gear we haven't even found yet. So, still plenty of mysteries to be solved, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah. And that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Yes. I gotta go bathroom.
Okay. I'm gonna check news stories here while I hang out with chat. Hello, chat. How's everyone doing? Well, the news stories. I have 70 news stories here. Someone's playing Theme Hospital again, which is really great. Here's a first look at Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Oh, it's without... Oh, right, they're talking about making a Joker origin story. So it's not... It's him without makeup or anything. Interesting. There's another Sonic racing game which is coming out, which is awesome. Fortnite has now been cited in more than 200 divorce proceedings. Yeesh. What the heck? This press release is from an online divorce service, Divorce Online. So to say they have a vested interest would be an understatement. Sweary's The Missing is coming out in October, I think he said. That's exciting. Dark Souls. That's a shmup. The Assassin's Creed Fact Checker is still going. Okay. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is getting a streaming version in Japan, which isn't
that was no way for you to say
that much of a surprise. The Culling is back as a free-to-play game. Oh yeah, the Papers, Please guys' next game, Return of the Obra Dinn, comes out in the fall. Oh,
that was loud.
Hello there.
Come here.
It's cat time.
Yeah, but I'm on a seat is the problem.
Ah, right.
What's up?
Little cat dad broke his seat. By accident.
Mm-hmm. I also had a shower and a shave today, so I don't smell like Louise, which is a problem.
Let's Get that problem taken care of.
Nice.
Alright. I'm ready to start whenever you are. It
Okay,
doesn't look
give me
like
1
we have
minute.
any new news stories.
Oh, okay. And you're going to sit behind the tablet, Louise. Not on the tablet or in the tablet, but behind the tablet, please. The half of the chair is yours, okay?
Just make
Yeah.
do with it.
I'm sure she will jump up onto my lap at some point soon.
Yeah. Probably as soon as we get started.
Mm-hmm. We did find out she's obsessed with cheese sun chips, though.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like we literally had a bag of cheese sun chips, and she touched the bag, and even if she's stone asleep, she's like, "What is that?"
I need it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, she's lying down.
Ooh, we're safe.
My voice has been shot the past couple of days, and I don't know why.
I was just thinking about that. I'm thinking about that about my voice, being like, oh, it feels a little crispy right now.
It feels a little bit like fall's almost here.
Yeah.
It's only September. Fall should have been here like a month ago.
Yeah, that would be nice. We don't get fall until November anyway.
Ours goes from like end of October. We just suddenly get snow. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess winter's here now instead.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good.
Alright, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of September 17th, 2018. The Bard's Tale 4 Barrows Deep comes out for PC, OS X, and Linux. Musum over on Pup has really been enjoying he's a Kickstarter backer. Has been playing the various alphas and betas as they've been coming out. He's been enjoying it quite a bit.
Is it the old point and clicky?
No, it's like a dungeon crawler.
Oh,
One of
okay.
those first-person dungeon crawler things. So it seems pretty good. Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, just the name of it, comes out on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
I kind of want this.
Yeah, I really care because it has Knights of the Round in it, which is one of my favorite Capcom beat 'em ups. It has King of Dragons, Final Fight, Captain Commando, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It seems like a good, as long as it. The question with these is always, how well did you emulate it?
Yeah.
As long as it runs well, I feel like it could be a pretty good time.
Yeah, and I've already got the Streets of Rage collection, so I don't need those 3 games again.
Yeah.
I still would like those 3 games again.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with 4 coming out, you know.
Yeah. Play the original. Get all the story. Play the trilogy.
That'll be a pre-order bonus for the deluxe edition.
Probably. Mutant League Football Dynasty Edition comes out on the Switch. Had a hard time finding out what's in a Dynasty Edition. They say, quote, new teams, new content, end quote, and a physical release. So.
Okay, so you can tell how much of a not sports person I am, because a dynasty in sports is a team that goes forever, just keeps winning and so on and so forth.
Yep.
As soon as you said Mutant League Dynasty Edition, I thought, oh, is this going to be just like that Fist of the North Star game and the Attack on Titan game, where it's a Dynasty Warriors game, but it's got the Mutant League people?
That would be crazy. No, it's just Mutant League Football.
Yeah, okay, so
yeah,
there go my dreams.
Yeah. Scribblenauts Mega Pack comes out on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It sort of takes 2 Scribblenauts games, smushes them together, and adds just a whole bunch of other levels and items and stuff like that. So, if you never played a Scribblenauts game, they're pretty fun.
Yeah, I always love them games, but I think it's one of those things where once you've played one, you've kind of played them all.
Yeah, unless you really love the series, you only need to check one of them out.
Yeah.
Game needing virtually no introduction, Undertale comes out on the Switch.
Of course.
If you're waiting for it to be on Switch, now you can play probably one of the most divisive games of the last 5 years.
Yep. What's the old joke? How long till Switch?
Yeah, Tuesday. And last but not least, Labyrinth of Refrain Coven of Dusk comes out on PC, Switch, and PS4.
This sounds like a U game. This 100, just from the title alone.
Can you guess what company put this out?
Say it again.
Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk.
Oh, part of me wants to say Koei, or however you say their name.
Koei Tecmo, yeah.
Yeah, the Disgaea people, because that's 100% one of their kind of titles too. But no, it's gotta be the Persona people. Or I can't remember.
No, shockingly, it's not Atlas. It's NIS.
Oh,
they put
out. Yeah, close enough.
They, I wasn't really interested in this until I watched gameplay of it. It is a super old school 80s style first person dungeon crawler. Like, you move one tile, you move a tile, like all first person. That's crazy, and I respect that a lot, and I will never play this game.
Yeah, thank you for making me both want to play the game and never play the game at the same time.
Yeah, like, I feel like I would really enjoy it, but I also feel like I would probably spend $40 on it and spend like 150 hours. Just to finish the campaign.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, let's move on to news stories. Nintendo had their September Direct. This was delayed because of the natural disasters in Hokkaido. Boy, they announced a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I literally, it seems my Twitter feed has been filled with Bongo Cat, which I appreciate.
Yes, Bongo Cat's really great.
And Nintendo stuff, which I really don't care about. So
yeah, so they started off with Luigi's Mansion 3 coming on the Switch.
Good call. It's about time.
Yeah, these are games I really like, and I pick up and play for an hour or two and go, man, this game is really great. I gotta finish this, and never do. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably second most importantly, Katamari Damacy Reroll is coming on the Switch. It's just a full-on remake of the first game.
Which I'm not going to say anything because Katamari Damacy is great, so that's fine. If they want to remake it for the Switch, go for it.
Well, and the thing too is, I feel like if you want to put one of those games on the Switch, you put either the first one or the second one, I guess, or both. After that, they sort of lose their way a little bit once the creator left, because you only made the first two.
Yeah.
After that, they sort of lose their way. So you want to put the first one, which is a pretty flawless game with very few issues. Really, the only issues with it on 360 were or PS2 were performance. So
yeah,
you know, that's probably going to get resolved, and it's on the go. So
now, where is my Katamari Bongo Cat? It has to be out there already.
I retweeted that.
Okay.
You check my feed. Yeah, the Bongo Cat did the intro song.
Yeah. Okay. You also did retweet the virus of the 1990s.
Yes.
Which, thank you for that.
You're welcome. I was wondering if you were going to see Bongo Cat Darude Sandstorm, but you did. You could feel it in your bones.
Yes.
Yeah. They announced Yoshi's Crafted World for the Switch. Basically, it looks like the extension of Yoshi's Woolly World, where instead of just being made out of wool, they're made out of all craft supplies. So
great, because those games are amazing.
Yeah, they're really great, they're really cute, and if you want to get into them, they're really hard. So, how can you go wrong? Cities Skyline is available on Switch right now.
Of course, why not?
Yeah, which I feel like if they nailed down the controls on that, that would be pretty fun to just kind of curl up with in handheld mode and build some cities.
It's on Game Pass. So
oh yeah, it is. Yeah. So there you go. You might already own it right now.
Yes, maybe.
Animal Crossing Switch was announced. It'll come out on 2019. This is the big announcement for a lot of people.
I get it. Animal Crossing is a great game. I am a grown-ass man with grown-ass man responsibilities. I cannot play another Animal Crossing game.
I'm already paying off a mortgage of my own in real life. I can't owe Tom Nook. I feel like I've never played an Animal Crossing game, and
Dude, don't.
Yeah, like, that's sort of my thing, where it's
your thing. That's the problem. Don't play it.
It's like starting Warframe right now. I can't. I made a mistake with Destiny. I can't do that for 2 games.
And look at this at the flip side as well. Animal Crossing is on a 100% real-time game as well. So you keep that in keep that in mind when you start to think about playing Animal Crossing. Do you want to spend every Thanksgiving, Halloween, and any other holiday that you enjoy playing Animal Crossing to collect the specific event-only items that will happen during that day?
Playing in the bathroom in secret, sitting in the tub.
It's the Calendar Man achievement for Arkham Asylum, except it's every day all year.
I'm out.
I'm glad, because you would love it so much.
I would love it too much.
Destroy you.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Speaking of Warframe and Diablo 3 are coming to Switch in November.
Of course. Why not?
Yeah. So, say goodbye to your loved ones, because Diablo 3 is coming to Switch.
I'm used to...
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about that the other day. And last, but the announcement that I'm particularly excited about are Square has announced a suite of games that are coming to the Switch. Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, 10-2, 12, Crystal Chronicles, World of Final Fantasy, and Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon are all coming to Switch, and the Xbox One.
No. As I so politely phrased it to you on Twitter, no 8, I'm out, mate.
Yeah.
Why no 8? Like, legitimate question. Why no 8?
We were talking about that in Discord, and the only thing I can assume is that they're having troubles emulating it, because if I remember correctly, it coming out on other platforms where it was a particularly hard game to emulate. The other thing, too, is you'll note this is the first time that any Square Enix games are coming out on Xbox One, since Nier Automata. Someone had posted...
Final Fantasy 11 came out as well, or whatever the most recent one.
14?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The Four Boys Road Trip, that came out on Xbox.
Oh, 15. Yeah. That's fair, yeah. The rumor is that a lot of these old games, after the failure of The Spirits Within... Let's go way back to Squaresoft Honolulu.
Let's go back to 1996.
Yes. Apparently, when that almost bankrupted Squaresoft, Sony may have come in and given Square considerable cash infusion around that time, and had said, like, hey, by the way, you're sort of a Sony company for a while. And it seems like the terms of that deal have changed, which is now why 8 different Final Fantasy games are coming out in 2019 for the Xbox One. But that's great.
8 games are coming out, but not the 8 that matters.
I know. That's the unfortunate part. But I'm sincerely hoping that they come out with that later. I'm hoping that they put out, like maybe a remaster of the 13 trilogy. I know it's not well received, but there are a lot of people out there that...
You love the 13 trilogy, don't you?
I like the second 13 game. I'm a bit of a black sheep. The thing I have to remember is there are a lot of people that have just an Xbox One that haven't played Final Fantasy 7 or 9 or 8, to be fair. The only thing I can hope is that there will be a Wave 2 of games that are going to come out. Like, I don't think Final Fantasy 8 is on PS4 either. I think it's just on PC. So I'm hoping that they'll come out with like 8 and 13 and maybe like a 4, 5, 6 pack. Because that would be really great, especially for people that are coming into their teenagers right now that obviously weren't alive when 7 came out, or 9 or 10. Some of these foundational Final Fantasy games. It's a really great opportunity for them to play some of the most influential JRPGs of all time.
Yeah.
So, and then
still not happy,
you cowards.
I'm still not happy.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time, and I'm still not happy.
Well, the hard part about 8 is I feel like it's weird enough mechanically that people are going to get it now. It was way too early when it came out on the PlayStation 1. Like, it was just too weird. It was mechanically odd. But with how many weird, like, roguelikes and min-maxing games and all this stuff that are out... Yeah, like Dark Souls, like, I feel like people would get it now.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah.
In my heart. Someday. No. Speaking of in our heart, Alan Wake is back for a live-action TV show.
let's talk about the biggest piece of news ever to hit this household, shall we?
Yes. Your wife exploded with joy.
Yes, like literally exploded with joy. Like, number one, good on Remedy for taking what ended up being a really bad idea with Quantum Break, spinning it out into something that has adoring fans across the globe.
Right.
And it would be really good for Alan Wake. Like, that's a really good idea.
Yes.
Make an Alan Wake TV show.
And maybe put out a remaster of it?
Or a sequel. Either or will do nicely.
Preferably a sequel, maybe with like a quick $10 DLC for the first game in American Nightmare.
Yeah, you can bundle them in for $10 and get away with it, I think.
Yeah.
Alan Wake in 4K with HDR.
Yeah. That'd be
Those
really
woods.
nice. And the Energizer battery ads removed.
Yes.
What was the other one? Like Ford Taurus or something?
I think it was,
some car. Yeah. Man, Alan Wake is a great game.
Alan Wake's so good.
I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with a TV show, because I feel like the format, if you could carry forward the format of potentially telling some parts of the story out of order, I feel like that could be a really cool show.
Yeah, do a Pulp Fiction but in TV show format.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really exciting. I know it's still a ways off, but that seems really cool.
Yeah, this is a Remedy household.
Yes.
Like, period. Anything Remedy will be welcomed into this home with open arms.
Flying a Remedy flag outside.
Yes.
The next news story, The Last Remnant got pulled down on Steam a couple months ago, and they said, hey, it's going away. It seems to be the reason for that is because they're coming out with a Last Remnant remastered.
Is this the JRPG that you love on the 360? No, this is something I'm thinking of. What's the JRPG that you were obsessed with on the 360?
Tales of Vesperia?
No, it's like 4 discs. It's not one of the Tales series.
Lost Odyssey.
That's the one. Thank you.
Oh, Lost Odyssey is so good. Man, about
this is the game I tried to find. Yeah, I tried to find this game in England, and it's called something else, and I completely never managed to find it.
Yeah, it did have another name. Yeah, Soulman in the community really liked this. He fought for it a lot when it originally came out. So it looks like they're taking the PC version, oddly enough, changing it from Unreal Engine 3 to 4, which seems like a shockingly large change, and then putting it out on PS4 for $20.
Please tell me it's coming out on Xbox as well.
I feel like this is one of those that's going to come to Xbox One and PC later, because it's weird that they would pull it off of PC and then put it back on PS4 and not also put it back on PC. So I wonder if there's some UE4 engine issues that are sort of preventing a lot of that stuff. But
yeah, possibly.
I'm really glad they're putting this back out, because it's a very weird, very different RPG. And I'm really glad they're putting the PC version out, because it fixed all of the dumb mistakes that they accidentally made in the 360 version. If you're going to play Last Remnant, please play with a guide. Please. You can over-level and make the game impossible. It's not an RPG where, like, you want to fight everyone and fight everything. That will be a real bad time. So, please. But a not bad time, Hollow Knight.
Yep, let's talk about the 2019 announced release date. Oh wait, never mind that.
Yeah, I got confused. The spring 2019 release date for Hollow Knight is the physical edition, which was not previously made clear. The Hollow Knight Voidheart edition, which is coming out to PS4 and Xbox One, comes out on September 25th, 2018.
So 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It is on PS4. It's available for pre-order right now. It was 20% off. It's like a $13 game. So for around $10 you can get it. It's not on pre-order for Xbox One. I'm assuming it'll just show up on the 25th. So
probably.
This is Hollow Knight with all 4 DLC packs baked into it. It's still $15, which is a steal.
Great. So Hollow Knight in 2 weeks.
Right.
Forza Horizon 4.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
Battlefield 5.
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption. Oh, dude.
And I think, to me, it says how much I like Hollow Knight that this got announced, and I pre-ordered it as soon as I can, and I'm very excited to hop back into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully, based on what you've said about the game, I'm hopefully gonna have enough time to play it between now and Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
If you need a really good map, if you get really lost or you're sort of done fighting with the game, I can text you the map that I have.
Okay.
It's very good.
Okay.
And last but not least, the news story that probably only I am excited about. A new super team developer has been created. I still don't understand how this happened. It's visual novels, so feel free to fall asleep if anyone is so inclined. The creators of Zero Escape series,
yes,
and the creators of the Danganronpa series have
that's
made...
the one with the panda.
Yes, he is. I think there's a joke in the game that he's not a panda. He's a bear.
Okay.
Also a robot, maybe. They have joined forces to make one studio that's going to make visual novels, and they announced like 6 of them, and they all look incredible.
Of course they did.
So like 2 of the 3 heaviest hitters of popular visual novel games have combined their forces, and they're just going to make some really incredible stuff.
A form of a visual novel?
Yes, they are. 6 parts form a visual novel, yes. Yeah, that's a good reference. I like it. Alright, we haven't talked about reader questions here for a little bit, so I have a bunch to wrap up. Apologies if I missed anybody's, but we haven't talked about them lately.
Send them in again.
Yeah, exactly. Servo in Discord says, what are some of your most memorable but not necessarily favorite stages or levels in past games? Some of mine from the Genesis are the board game stage in Gunstar Heroes, which is really good, or Dinosaurs for Hire when you're attacked by miniature tanks and helicopters on a Hollywood movie set. I feel like we have to take out Blighttown.
Yeah,
that's
Blighttown's a given.
That's the middle of the bingo card. Like, that's just a gimme.
Yeah, that's a free square on the bingo game. Let's see.
Oh, I have one. Zone of the Enders 2. There's that really great stage where you're way up in the air and you're hopping from one of those giant carrier ships to another. It's one of those few PS2 games that did scale really well, where you're fighting a whole bunch of stuff and you're fighting these giant ships and you're very, very high off the ground. We usually didn't see that a lot in PS2 games.
I mean, is this good and bad memorable?
Yeah, I guess he did say memorable but not necessarily favorite. So I guess it sort of is bad levels.
Ocarina of Time, first time you go into Hyrule Field. That's.
I thought you were going to say Water Temple for a bad level.
Well, that was going to be my next point.
Okay.
Really good moment, memorable would be the first time you get into Hyrule Field. The really horrifically designed Water Temple is the worst memorable level in that because you spend 6 hours underwater, lost and confused,
switching items.
Yep.
I guess I have to say Deep Nest from Hollow Knight. I get what they were going for, but it's kind of a nightmare area that is like a touch too difficult for a game that's already really hard.
Yeah.
It's definitely memorable, though. This is a good question, because I feel like we so often have really great levels that we love because they do something creative, but...
It's kind of memorable because it's so crazy, but it's hard to say it's just one level because, to be honest, it's the entire game. Metal Gear Rising is memorable in every single level, in every single way, positive and negative.
Yeah. Like,
Metal Gear Rising is one of the best examples of this is so bad it's good and so good it's bad, all mixed into one game.
Right. Did you ever play Jet Set Radio Future?
Which one was Future?
That was the Xbox original version? Xbox one. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I did not play Jet Set Radio. I did play Jet Set Radio Future.
Do you remember the final level of that?
No, because I blocked it out from my mind.
It's this thing where you're like skating up these girders to go spray this boss.
Oh.
But the background is like two different swirling backgrounds that are moving opposite to each other, and you're like curving up this just a vomitorium. That's also a reminder that the last level, the meat circus of Psychonauts, is really bad. They fixed it, but the original release nearly impossible to finish.
Good levels, bad levels, memorable levels. So that's the problem. Is that, like, I can think about this after the show. And I'll think of 20 different things.
You'll be laying in bed and be like, "No, Okami."
Oh, Okami, man. That's a really good example.
Yeah.
Memorable, for a weird reason for me, is Just Cause 1 and 2. Getting a helicopter, flying to the very top of the world, and then just jumping out the helicopter and seeing the weird black magic that those guys did with that engine, where it's like, look, it's a rainforest, now it's a forest, now it's trees, and it doesn't really change how it looks the whole way down.
Right. That reminds me, this is going to be a controversial one, and I'm sure you will vehemently disagree with this. I'm going to say Crackdown 2. I think it's memorable in the wrong way because it, by and large, was Crackdown 1's map changed a little bit. It's sort of like, oh, like it's still good, but...
Oh yeah, Crackdown 2,
this is the same place.
Is a very disappointing game. It's still fun to play, and it's still an amazing game for me personally.
Right.
But that game is not great. Like, the level design, the abilities, everything like that, like... Crackdown 2 is not good.
Yeah, it's a letdown after the first one.
Until you get the DLC, then it's great.
Yeah, then they fixed a lot of those issues. Yeah. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord asks a couple of questions here. It says, I was reading a story that once Nintendo's online service launches, you'll be adding a form of achievements to their classic game selection. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. This could also open the door to their current titles. Ooh. My question is, what types of achievements would you like to see for classic and current games? Oh boy.
None, thanks. I have enough achievements and trophies in my life to worry about without Nintendo. They can... If they can keep themselves off the achievement train, which I know they won't, because it's a popular thing still. Even as much as people try and deny it, it's still popular.
Yeah.
It'll be in there. It's... I hope Nintendo go the way of more friendly games do with achievements these days. Like, Yoku's Island Express is a really good example. You can get every single achievement in that game in one playthrough, and it doesn't have a difficulty setting, but you can do that. Like, don't do the stupid things that companies have done for years and be like, here is, like, Ori and the Blind Forest. I want to get every achievement in that game. I'm probably going to try at some point. The last achievement I will probably never get in that game is the beat the game on one life mode.
Yeah. Oof. No, thank you.
Like, really? Why? Like, at that point, I'm probably just going to give up and be like, okay, 90% will do me. Thank you very much. Uninstall.
Yeah. I feel like for some of these games, like the original Super Mario Brothers, I feel like they won't try and get creative or be like, beat the game without using warp zones, or like, beat the game in under 15 minutes, or beat the game without dying once. And it's sort of like, okay, but like, what about some crazy stuff? You know, like, get it.
The Master Chief Collection has got some incredible achievements in it, which require you to watch speedruns to figure out how you can do that, to replicate it in the game to get that achievement.
Interesting.
Like, if they can do that for Nintendo games, great.
Yeah.
Do the backwards weird jump up the stairs trick in Super Mario 64.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. I feel like for a lot of their modern games, there's not a lot of stuff that they have created that I necessarily think fits with a lot of achievement design philosophy. Like Breath of the Wild, like, you got an achievement because you finished one of the dungeons. You know, it's like, you got the true ending. Here's an achievement.
It'll be milestones. It's just like everything else. It's collect X%, collect X% times 2. You know, that kind of stuff. You
don't get a lot of stuff with, you know, like Sea of Thieves with their crunch achievement. You know, like fun/dumb social stuff. You know, you're not gonna get a lot of stuff like that from Microsoft. You'll get that stuff from third parties, but I mean, a lot of companies on Switch, you know, Hollow Knight has its own achievement system in the game.
Yeah,
already.
Shovel Knight did it as well. Like,
Shovel Knight's a good example. Yeah.
I think they have a tendency to put them in there because when they eventually get to the other consoles, the system's already there for them.
Yep. Yeah. He also has a second question. The trailer launched for Call of Duty's Blackout mode, their Battle Royale mode. From the looks of things, is getting some praise from gamers, but raving praise from the press who's actually played it. My question is, what does Call of Duty need to do to separate themselves from the other Battle Royale games?
They're going to do one of two things. They're going to either... Well, I've heard a fair bit of, you know, Call of Duty is going to take PUBG back from, you know,
Sure.
or take the Battle Royale genre away from PUBG and Fortnite. PUBG, yes, because PUBG is a $60 game.
Right.
Fortnite, no, because Fortnite is a free game. You will never take the crown away from Fortnite as long as you have to pay money for your game.
Yep.
Like, it's that simple. Like,
and the graphical styles are so different that I feel like if you love Fortnite and you look at Call of Duty, you might be like, that doesn't... That looks brown and gray. You know, it's obviously not, but, you know, comparatively, it's much more realistic.
I mean, they're gonna do what they can do. Everyone's jumping on the battle royale genre. Like
I feel like for Call of Duty, they don't need to do a lot because their shooting is solid in and of itself. Whether you like it or not is a sort of a separate discussion. But you know, their shooting mechanically has been solid for a really long time. So they just need to put some sort of battle royale framework around it. I'm assuming it's not going to be, you know, 100 people, but you know, even if they make it 50 people, then it's probably still going to be really fun to play. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things where, to be honest, I am pretty done with battle royale games already.
Yeah.
Like, PUBG has been getting talked about constantly for probably 3 years now.
Boy, that has been a while. Yeah.
Fortnite is being taken over probably the number 2 spot in money makers in the world at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not even games, just the world. Like, it's Disney then Fortnite.
Right.
Like, it's been like that for almost a year now, if not a bit longer. So
yeah.
Whatever. If they want, they can try and stand out. I don't know how they're going to do it. If I did, I would be the one making it, and I would be the one rolling in coins like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
God.
No, I was just... Call of Duty has one advantage over stuff like PUBG. It has the name.
Yep.
Because whether we like to admit it or not, and I'm not a fan of Call of Duty. Mechanically, their games are fine, very much like Destiny, but I've never liked the Call of Duty multiplayer. I've never liked the instant death and instant respawn approach.
Time to kill is very fast.
Yep. And I think they're going to run into a problem in that specific area in PUBG, in a Battle Royale game.
Yeah, that's good.
Because in Battle Royale, time to kill tends to be a lot longer than Call of Duty is used to putting up there. So,
right.
I know, we'll see what they do.
Nexus Prime has sort of a question that... is around this. So now that I've gotten my hands on Call of Duty Blackout, I think the Battle Royale spin on games just doesn't work for me. The stress isn't something I enjoy. Are there any video games or video game genres that have caused you to feel so much stress that you didn't enjoy them, and if so, what were they?
Let's talk about Boston playing any horror game ever.
Yeah, a lot of horror games. For me, it's something like... it's also something like the Souls series, where... I feel it's not that I don't really feel punished by the difficulty, but I feel like there's that stress of dying and dropping your souls, and then you're on the edge finding your way all the way back to there without dying again. That's when it gets to be a little too much for me, stress-wise.
Yeah, I mean... I'm trying to think of my biggest problem is I'm super patient. And I don't, generally speaking, I get excited, but I very rarely get that level of anxiety or stress from playing a game. In my real life, that's a whole different ballgame. But
yeah, that's where that stuff goes.
Yeah, when it comes to video games, I'm usually the most chilled out person you can find. I'll be the person in a lobby full of screaming idiots who's just sitting there quietly waiting for the game to start.
See, I think that's the thing about online games that stresses me out. It's not PvP. It's not even like cooperative co-op, because obviously I love that stuff in Destiny too. I think it's the
Howler Monkey communities.
Yeah, like the general toxicity of so many of these communities is it wears you down so much, and then it becomes a point where it's, do you want to even fire up the game to get into to deal with whatever is happening in this community? For me, it's often there's that turning point where it's sort of like, well, it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah,
that's probably why I like Destiny, because no one's using voice chat. That's what I want. I would rather just shoot people quietly.
I would rather play a co-op game than a PvP game any day of the week.
Yep.
But when it does come to PvP games, I am really appreciative of people who, number one, don't use voice chat to just yell at you all the time, and number two, use the in-game text chat to thank you for something.
Right.
Like, I've played Battlefield before, and I think it was Battlefield 1. Spent 2 hours as a medic, and then ended up rolling with this one squad. And then every time I'd revive one of them, it's like, thank you. And it's the text chat. So on the Xbox One, that's a bumper hold, a stick, and then another stick.
Right.
So they're saying that every time I'm picking them up because they don't want to or don't have the ability to talk over text. But that's a positive thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Death2K in Discord says, how are you guys feeling the pace of the Spider-Man game? I'm appreciating the fact that they're not throwing every Spider-Man arch-enemy at me at every story beat. Other than some stealth missions, this pace makes the game feel more sensible and drawing me in.
Yes, that's something I will agree with. That game is paced spectacularly well. Again, no pun intended with the spectacular. I keep making Spider-Man puns and not meaning it.
I think that's one thing that I've seen from reviews. I think especially I watched Jim Sterling's review and some of the positives and criticisms he had of it, sorry, I'm getting tired, is that they don't have 15 enemies. Like, you don't just go stop a random bank heist and Rhino is in there. You know, it's not like you beat him up for 2 minutes and then he doesn't show up in the games. Like, I like that they have a smaller stable of villains that I'm hearing are mostly impactful.
Yeah, it's the Arkham Asylum thing where you've got, like, everybody's in there. Like, you see all of Batman's villains, you see Calendar Man, and you see everybody else. Right. Where at the end of the day, you're dealing with, like, 3 or 4.
Yeah, you're not fighting Clayface. Like, you're fighting Joker.
Yes.
Yeah. His also says, follow-up question, do you think Spider-Man will lead the way for the development of other Marvel licensed games?
I hope so, but I doubt it. Because...
Yeah. The thing I hope that Spider-Man will usher in is licensors loosening the reins on licensed games a little bit more.
And patience.
Yeah. You'll sell a good Spider-Man game. You know, you'll sell a good game no matter when you release it. It doesn't have to come out with a movie or with a toy line or something like that. Obviously there are some kids-focused stuff that you know, is outside that rule, but
yeah,
there's nothing Spider-Man going on right now. I mean, there's a movie coming out next year, I think, right?
Yeah, but he's not even a star in that.
Okay, so yeah, like, I think when you look at something, it's not like brand new Spider-Man came out and there's a new game out.
Yeah, it's literally, it came out in the middle of no Spider-Man action, other than the fact that, you know, Homecoming came out a couple of years ago and took everybody by storm with how good it was, and now he's in the MCU, but I mean, they need to realize you can't just throw 6 months and $20 million at something and expect to receive it well received.
Right.
Like,
Insomniac's been working on this game, I think, for 5 or 6 years. It just takes time.
That's what these people need to understand. Like, look at the Arkham games. In my opinion, they have gone down since the first one.
Yep.
Because the first one was probably given the most time to actually work.
God, that first one is so good.
It's one of the games of the generation.
That's the only one I finished, because like the other ones I get into, and like I get into the open world BS of it, and it's like, okay, now you just puked icons on the map, and I don't want to do that. I want to go back to the light Metroidvania that first one was.
Yep, it's the what is it called? The something, I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? So much stuff to do, you can't choose it.
Yeah, it's like a decision paralysis.
Yes.
Yeah. And on that note, because both of us are now just completely fried, that's all of our questions, and that's our episode this week. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere you can find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. And don't forget to join the Discord server. That's still hopping like crazy. Right now we're posting a whole bunch of old PS1 and PS2 games, so if you got some of those, post some pictures over in Discord. And Game Club, we just wrapped up, like we talked about, Ori and the Blind Forest. 2064 Read Only Memories is a brand new game, released on pretty much anything you have, including your phones.
Hopefully my watch.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe there'll be like the VMU from the Dreamcast. Maybe you can do something on there, too.
Patreon.com.
Yes, thank you. Patreon.com/U1M1. The ones are numbers. You can get all the cool behind-the-scenes and early access stuff. There will be a show coming soon-ish in the near future to replace T-Bomb R. So if you want to get on that, I would recommend the $5 tier. That's the real bang for your buck, especially since you get dynamic soundtrack and Old Dog New Flicks a couple months early in both cases. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Twitch, the whole place.
Social media stuff.
Yeah, all the social media stuff, but most importantly, go subscribe over there so it'll let you know when we go live, because we don't go live exactly at 1 p.m. Pacific. That's why I mention it. It'll let you know. And that's our episode for this week. Bye.
Yes.
We'll see you next week. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm just hot.
Yeah, it's now 3 o'clock, so yeah, now it's hot. All
okay.
Right. Hit me with them titles.
We are available.
That's good.
It's so bad, and I love it.
Yep.
Give him the Stabby Jones.
Yeah.
Vampyr True Stories. Sorry, Vampyr True Stories.
I wrote that down too. Yeah.
Nom on Some Fools. Not the 8 that matters. Flying a Remedy flag. Puke icons all over the map.
Not the 8 that matters. I have It's Louise, my cat. Little White Spider Booties, which is my leading title for this week. Your question of did you get the sprinkles? Personal person.
Well, I don't even know what that was about. No.
You said something about like it's stressful on a personal person level and as like a world level. And it's like, do you say personal person?
Yeah.
Viva Planet.
Oh, that's such a good game idea. We need it.
And then Vampyr True Stories and Not the 8 That Matters. I'm voting for Little White Spider Booties.
Little White Spider Booties.
It's like the best Prince B-side.
Oh, wow.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I don't feel as strongly about any of the other ones as that one.
No, the only one other than that one I would vote would be Not the 8 That Matters, but that's because I am in a rage about that situation.
Yeah, that's the title in our hearts. You know, where Squall and Reno live. Alright, I'm going to circle Little White Spider Booties. It's just too good.
It's funny because it's like literally as soon as I got that suit in the game, that was the first thing my wife and I were like, it's really cool. Why has he got little white spider booties on?
He's got these booties.
Yeah.
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 569 for September 17th, 2019. Little White Spider Booties.
Air Parker, only $700.
Air Parker. Alright, thank you so much everyone for watching us this week. We'll see you next week. Bye.